Do you send your sources any gifts? The way Adam Schefter has said he spends a lot of money on fancy chocolates that he sends
My
around.
man, yeah, yeah. I'll tell you what, dude. I don't have the disposable income that Adam has right now after he signed that latest contract. I've got a mortgage, and we were just talking to a 1-year-old downstairs right now watching Moana. I don't have the financial means at the moment to be sending gifts to them. I got to worry about this buying a house in this market and my kid downstairs. But my thing is like, anytime a source gives me a break, I report it, I get it done. And once my work is done, the first thing I do is I call them and I just say, look, I understand that you did not have to give me this, that you have people like if they took that information to Tom or they took that information and gave it to Adam or Ian, Tom, Adam, and Ian are going to be able to tell the person who told me significantly more information because of how well sourced they are across the entire NFL. And they can help him more than I ever can. Period. That's just the cold hard truth of it. Like that's the truth of it. That guy still chose to give it to me. And so anytime they do, that's something where I call the guy. I'm like, I understand you did not have to do this. And you did anyway. And that means so much. Like when I'm we're at the combine owners meeting, like I take these guys out to dinner, like things like that. But I don't send gifts, unfortunately. And I don't know, that's going to hopefully not too many sources like, damn it, Connor. Like I would have given you something else if you sent me a box of chocolates. So you'll see. I just don't, you know what I'll do? I'll load up like the day after Valentine's Day when everything's like 80% off, and I'll throw them in the freezer, and then that'll be the one that I
there you go. Do you think Robert Saleh still trusts Joe Benigno as a source to go to?
That's a bummer, just because I know he was warned that it's like Robert loves talking to people, and Robert is so damn friendly that it backfires on him, and that backfired on him because I think when you're like Joe, I love Joe Benigno, but he's not a reporter. You know what I mean? So there's a sourcing relationship between reporters and media that are understood, what's off the record, on the record. Like, if I showed you my phone, some of the things people have told me, like, I would never, like, if I wrote that, it would go viral. But, like, also that person's now never going to talk to me again. Like, there's an understanding of how communicating with sources works. And unfortunately, he got burned just because I don't think that understanding was necessarily there.
Yeah, no, I think
because Joe's a good guy. Like, Joe's not a bad person. It wasn't malicious.
Yeah. No, every WFAN listener, every Joe Benigno fan, as soon as that happened, is like, what is Robert Saleh doing texting Joe Benigno? Like he's got it. It almost it shows a little bit of a lack of awareness on Saleh's part. Like I know Joe has texted Bill Belichick. He's talked about the relationship he has with him, but like Belichick was not texting Joe about his active quarterback situation.
Yeah, and again, that's who Robert is. Like if he's such a nice open guy.
Yeah.
He's guarded a lot of times too, but like with certain information, but he will be honest he is to a fault willing to tell you why. To a fault, he's willing to tell you why. And unfortunately, when he tells the wrong people why and they run it, it got him burned, unfortunately.
What's the say a percentage of information that you receive that actually gets reported?
10 to 15. Probably 10 to 15%. Like the Rodgers story is a good example of that. Like I was able to tell you guys, he's on vacation. He's on a trip, pre-planned why he felt this was important. I can't tell you where he is. Like, and that's a juicy nugget that would go viral, but like, it's not worth losing relationships. And it's not like someone on social media made a comment to me, like cause I responded, like somebody, was on my ass about like, we want you to find out where he is, I'm like, I know where he is, but it's just for security reasons. The information they don't want the information out there. So it's told Matt. And it was like, somebody had tweeted me, a follower, and it said like, what kind of journalist doesn't just write everything they know? And I sent her a DM and it was basically just like, not being a dick, like explaining like, this is why. And I got a piece of advice from somebody very early in my career is writing it before you write anything, before you hit send, ask yourself, is reporting that information worth that person never talking to you again? And that's just how the business works. And unfortunately, I think some people outside don't totally understand that.
Yeah.
But that's really what it is it's about building and cultivating relationships and then go and getting your questions answered, because sitting on nugget 1, 2, or 3 could lead to you having information for stories 4, 5, and 6 down the road. And it's just about it. And don't get me wrong, it's the worst part of the job is having it, wanting to scream it from the roof and not being able to. But eventually you just learn, like the reward down the line is not worth the risk of saying it now.